specific time to just ask any questions. So hopefully that's all good. So just a quick introduction to who we are as a company. I am one of the tutors for MedicMind. We are a company that helps with, we do one-to-one tutoring, and we help with your application to medicine, dentistry, and vet sciences as well. We have many tutors who are really dedicated and committed to helping everybody with things like UCAT and interviews as well. And you can read our reviews on Trustpilot as well. So let's talk about clearing then. Somebody can't hear me, but I believe the majority can. So I'm assuming it's not on my end. Okay, I'll continue then if you can hear. Yes, you can try logging out and logging back in. Okay, it's fixed. Brilliant, thank you. So I'll do. Yes, give me a moment. Let's talk about clearing then and what it is. So clearing essentially starts tomorrow on A-level results day. What it is when you get your A-level results, let's say you don't get the results that you were hoping for. So you've got a conditional offer to study medicine, and that was on the condition that you get 3 A stars. And you don't get 3 A stars, you get 2 Bs and 1 A, or something other than the 3 A stars that you're hoping to get. That is where clearing comes in. So let's say you don't get your firm offer, but you also miss your insurance offer. And of course, now you've got no other offers. So you don't have a place to study at university. What you can then do is go through clearing. Clearing has basically all the courses that are still open and have spaces offered by all the universities. So on your UCAS, you will see a section. So you can go on the UCAS website and find the options there. They will show you the courses that are available or should be available. And what you can do is you can call up the university and find out whether you are eligible and whether the course is open. The problem with clearing is that courses close really, really fast, and there are many courses that will not be open in clearing, and it all depends on how everyone in general has done across the country. There will be more courses open if there are more spaces, if students haven't received those grades and haven't got their offers, and there'll be less spaces if the opposite has happened. Hopefully I'm making sense so far. Please let me know if you've got any questions or if that's not the case. Okay, right. I'll give you a rundown of what actually happens in clearing. So I'm on the phone lines, and come tomorrow, we get calls of loads of students saying, I had an offer to study X course and I've not gotten it because I didn't get the grades. Do you have, let's say, adult nursing? Do you have adult nursing available and open in clearing? So what we'll do is we will go and check on our spreadsheet. We literally have a spreadsheet of all the courses that are open. We will check whether the course is open, and then we will come back to you and say, yes, it's open. What grades did you get? You will tell us that you got 3 A levels or a BTEC, and you'll give us the grades for that. We will then look at the requirements on that spreadsheet and check if that matches to that course. If you have the correct grades and in the correct subjects, that includes GCSE and A-level subjects, we will then let you know. And what we will then do is we will set you up on the system as having made an inquiry into that course. That does not mean that you have received the offer and that you are set to go to university at that university to study that course. It just means that we are acknowledging that right now, while you're calling, the course is open and you do meet the requirements. What then happens is, provided course is open, you meet the requirements, you get the go-ahead from that university to then make an application through UCAS. So you still have to make your clearing application through UCAS. This is really important. The other thing that's really important is that you only have one opportunity to do that. So you can make loads of clearing applications. However, you can only make one at a time. So if you call Plymouth, let's say, and you are interested in adult nursing and the course is open and you meet the requirements, we will let you know and we will ask you to make that application on UCAS. One important time to remember for tomorrow is that UCAS will only open at 1 p.m. for clearing. So you will not be able to make an application before 1 p.m. And that is the correct time for this year. So we will urge you to make the application. You will then go on your UCAS, make the application through UCAS, and that will be your clearing application. Until you have received a decision on that application by the university you're applying for, you cannot make another application. So you can't shop around, call 5 different unis and make 5 different clearing applications. Does that make sense? You can definitely call universities before 1 p.m. So the clearing hotlines for most people open around 7:30 or 8 o'clock. It will be really busy. So if you are, interested, I would recommend calling as soon as you get your results. You can call and you can find out if the course is open. The benefit of that is as soon as 1 p.m. hits, you can make the application. And it saves you that bit of time. Most people do end up going through clearing, so it's not so uncommon because things go wrong, people have bad day, and it's fine. So clearing is essentially for those people that either, like I said before, do not meet the conditions of their offer, and as a result, they lost their offer. It's for people that didn't receive offers at all. Maybe they got rejected by all of their universities, or maybe you didn't apply through UCAS at all. You can still access clearing and find a space through clearing, even if you did not make an initial UCAS application. And lastly, if you change your mind, if you have an offer and you change your mind, you can actually withdraw from all your offers and go through clearing and go to a different university or a different course as well. So it's not just if things go badly and you don't get your offers. It's anybody who doesn't have somewhere to study or wants to change where they want to study. Okay. I'm just going to acknowledge that I've seen the questions in the chat and I will come to them. So if you feel like you have a special circumstance, mitigating circumstances, then make sure that you contact that university as soon as you can and talk about what happened and discuss your offer. They will be very happy if you call clearing, if you can get through to admissions. They should be very happy to talk about that with you, and you may still be accepted. But please, in general, keep your options open and be open to maybe doing something other than what you thought you were going to do. So a lot of people have asked about medicine and dentistry being open. And the answer is that it's really, really highly unlikely. And as of today, none of the universities have medicine or dentistry in clearing. It is a really, as we all know, really competitive course, and you don't get medicine and dentistry in clearing much. I think it's happened once before, a couple of years back, but it won't be there. So it's very likely it's not going to be there. But we will talk through your options if you had an offer to study medicine or dentistry and that didn't go through for you. Okay, so just because I was talking about the process of clearing, I'm going to go through this question. So somebody's asked, do you have to wait until the university have given a decision on whether they offered you a place through clearing before trying to apply for a different course? Exactly. So once you've made one clearing application, you have to wait for their decision, whether that's a rejection or a conditional offer or an unconditional offer. You can't make another application. If they accept you, that's great. You can choose to go there. Otherwise, you can withdraw that go back into clearing and apply elsewhere. Or if they reject you, then you can make another clearing. Yeah, so once again, I will reiterate that there is no medicine or dentistry in clearing. So yes, I wouldn't recommend calling clearing to find out about medicine or dentistry because the courses are closed. So how do you get a place through clearing? You basically have to phone the university. Somebody's asked where can you find their numbers. They should be very well advertised. And also you can look through, Google. You can have a think now of which universities you'd like to apply to through clearing. Go on the internet, look on their website and find those numbers and write them down beforehand. It's literally just their hotline. Call their hotline and you inquire about that. So what you can also do is, if you are interested, but you're not sure which course or you're not sure what's open and you don't want to wait in that queue on the phone line for that long, you can go to their website as well. And you can literally just search up the university. So I'm going to take Plymouth again as an example. Plymouth University clearing number and courses. And sometimes you can get information about that as well. Another thing to look up and research before clearing actually starts is what courses they do in general. So as a backup, what does Plymouth offer that I might be interested in? Having a look on there and reading about it and having a couple. Often we get phone calls from people saying, do you have adult nursing and physiotherapy or occupational therapy? So they've read up on all three and they're happy to have either one of those. But it gives you more chance because you've got a couple of courses and the likelihood is at least one of them will be open. Do be patient on clearing day because the phone lines are absolutely jammed and I can vouch for that. Everybody in the hotlines is working really hard and they are taking calls from 7:30 in the morning till 10 for when most of them close. And it is one call after the other. So you will be in a queue for a while. So try calling as early as you can, but stay patient and stick with the process. Yeah, there is no script that you kind of have to say. There's no like cheat sheet for what you should say to get an offer. You literally call them up, be yourself, tell them what went wrong. These are my grades. What can you offer me? This is the course I'm interested in. Do I meet the requirements? And, really just be yourself in that moment. You cannot coerce them into giving you the offer, and asking them in a certain way or asking a multiple number of times is not going to change if the course is open and if you meet the entry requirements. I also just want to mention that the entry requirements on clearing day are set slightly lower than the ones you'll find on the website. So the usual entry requirements for any university, normally in clearing, because universities have that open course, they want to fill their spaces, they know that students will be calling through clearing, they do reduce the requirements to an extent. So I'm just going to quickly talk about some other courses that you can think about during clearing. These are the ones that are open at the moment. This could very well change. So courses close every couple of seconds. Every moment we take a call, we're asked to refresh that and make sure that the course hasn't closed. So at the moment, let's take pharmacy at UAE, for example. You might have applied to something similar, or you might have applied to medicine and you might be thinking, okay, I'm really interested in the pharmacology side of things. You might find that pharmacy is actually a better fit for you. You might be interested in healthcare in general, and nursing, you might feel is better fit for you. Nursing is a common one in clearing. You might be interested in something like occupational therapy, or paramedic science as well is becoming a really popular course as well. It's really fast paced. Again, it has the healthcare aspect and the daily kind of change that you get in medicine. So that might be something that you're interested in. Further down the line, we've got more specialized things like medical pharmacology. Again, you might be really interested in the pharmacology side of things. So you can actually go on their website, read about that course, and you might find that this is a better fit for you than what you originally applied for. At the end of the day, if you are, however, still set on medicine, you know, and you've decided that it hasn't happened this year, but you want to reapply, you want to retry, that's perfectly okay. And it happens to loads of people. And that's where we come in as well. So we have helped thousands of students get into medicine. 93% of our students get at least one offer. So, you know, like I said before, we offer you personalized one-to-one UCAT and BMAT support. We can take a look at your personal statement. We can help you prepare for your specific university and for your interviews, and generally help you get that confidence and understand what it is that the admissions tutors and the people interviewing are looking for. We offer all of these things, including the one-to-one tutoring sessions. We have self-study materials, we have question banks, we have live classroom days, webinars on UCAT, BMAT interviews. We also do mock MMI circuits, which are really helpful before your interview, with one-to-one mock interview. You can actually rotate like a real MMI, and then you also get feedback from a peer and a tutor. And we also help you to get work experience in real clinical settings. Just before I proceed, I'm just going to reiterate, I just want to answer some of the questions. So somebody's asked, are the calls for clearing like interviews? That's a really good question. So the initial call that you make to clearing won't be like an interview. It will just be an inquiry. So you'll say, is adult nursing open? And they will say, yes, it is. You do meet the entry requirements. And then they will forward you on. So for things like healthcare, you may require an interview. So what they will do is they will most likely take down your details and forward you on to an admissions tutor. With things like healthcare courses, you also have DBS checks and occupational health checks, and things like forms where self-declarations, where you have to sign off on things and submit them. So the admissions tutors that you'll get forwarded to will help you do those things. If you then require an interview, they will organize that for you, and they will tell you that it's an interview. So they will organize a separate call and say, someone will call you back, or can you call us, and we would like to do an interview. So when you initially get on that phone to clearing, it's not like an interview, and you can just, you know, you're basically just asking if the course is open and if you're eligible and you meet the entry requirements. Very quickly, again, none of the medicine courses are open on clearing. Will the interviews be on the same day? They can be, depending on the backlog that the university has and the number of people that have applied. They usually happen within the next couple of days as well. Can you reapply to medicine in general? Yes, you can. So if you don't get in 1 year, you can reapply the next year. It's not a problem. I would not advise calling medical schools to see if there's any spaces available, because they have already said that our courses are closed, and they normally have waiting lists as well. So in the off chance that they've got a space, they will contact their waiting list. I think it would be a waste of your time to do that, and you'd much rather do some research and see if there's something else you'd like to do, or if you are deciding to reapply. Okay, I believe there's a webinar on Friday covering reapplication. So I will leave those questions. Tomorrow, sorry, is covering reapplication. That's Thursday. Could you get into another related course through clearing and then transfer courses back to dentistry? Very good question. There are very few courses that actually do this, and they're highly, highly competitive. So it's up to your own judgment. If that course that you're transferring from is open, that's on, your judgment if you'd like to do that course, but I would recommend doing full research into the transfer process, whether it's actually possible and how competitive it is, because what you don't want to do is be stuck on a course that you don't like. Okay. If you are undecided about whether you want to apply for university through clearing or you have a gap year, can you just apply for a course, then cancel before September? Yes. So if you apply through clearing, you can always decline the offer and you're waiting for the decision of the university and you don't want to go anymore, you can decline the offer, or you can withdraw your application. How long does it take to get feedback after sending in the application through UCAS? So the universities and UCAS, it's really strange. They still have an old push and pull system. So unlike now where we've got emails that just get sent, they have a system where they actually have to put data on and take it off. So they actually have specific set timings in the day where they do that. Because of that, there's a lag and it takes a long time. So when you call up, if you ask them about their push and pull, they will know what you're talking about, and the university should give you an indication and say it might be 4 o'clock today. But that doesn't mean that that will be your application's decision. So be wary of that, and know that it could be the next day or it could be a couple of days as well. Again, depending on the course. Healthcare courses normally take a much longer time to be cleared and assessed. And what kind of things do we need to do to prepare for clearing? I would honestly do your research on the courses that you're interested in or any that you might be interested in. So what is actually out there? What do universities have? Make a list of them. Write down, what do you like about them? Have you got any questions about them? There is always the opportunity to talk to academics on clearing day as well about your course. So if you have found something that you think looks really good, but you're not sure about it, ask to speak to an academic or ask the person on the phone if they can give you some more information about that course. It's not a problem at all. The university wants you to get to know them and they are really happy to supply that information. What does the application for a course through clearing involve? On UCAS, so on UCAS, it will be, obviously you pick the course code, the university, and you may have to write a little bit about why you want to do that. It shouldn't be too long, but it's not like your standard application where you put in a personal statement, but it'll basically be a form. UCAS will take you through that. I think that one's been answered. I'll just scroll down really quickly. How common is it for courses to open for clearing tomorrow that aren't open before results day? Not common at all. It's possible that could happen. Sometimes we have courses that close and then open up in the middle of the day for about an hour and then close again. So it's always worth asking, unless it's something like medicine or dentistry or vet sciences. If it's something else like nursing or biomed or pharmacy, it's always worth giving them a call and asking. Can we call up universities going into clearing the morning of results day before getting our results? You could call them up and you could be on the phone, but the first thing they'll do is ask you for your results. So if you don't know how you've done, there's nothing that they'll be able to do for you, if that makes sense. So if you can't give them grades, essentially you're asking them, I'm interested in this course, is it available? They can tell you it's open and then that's it. They can't check if you're eligible because you don't have any results. So I would recommend waiting to have your results. Okay. Will we need to have contact with the teachers or UCAS to help us at school for our clearing application? And no, not necessarily. A lot of people complete it at home. You don't need anything in particular from the school to make the clearing application, but a lot of people like having that support from their school. What sort of questions are asked in the interviews? Depends on the course. It would be usual things like what you expect, but they are usually more informal because it's just the academic calling up to see if you're a good fit. Okay. I'm just reading the questions. Yes, the earlier you can call, the better, but make sure you have your results. Can you defer your offer and reapply to medicine? Do you mean defer your offer to something else and reapply? EPQs are actually really good. So somebody's asked how important are EPQs. EPQs and any extra AS levels. So another thing that the clearing people do for you when you call them is give you a UCAS tariff, work out your UCAS points. So EPQs actually increase your UCAS points, and so do any AS levels. Or, you know, if you've got an extra BTEC, any qualification you have, sometimes music qualifications, they can really add to that UCAS tariff. So make sure you write them down and tell the people, because they are really good. You will be in a call queue. And I think I'll answer the last one. Defer a med offer for another, just because, okay, interesting. I believe if you've deferred, you still have that offer, so you can't make a clearing application, because in order to be in clearing, you have to have no offers at all. But I can ask if someone could check that, please. Okay, I'm just going to move on, and then we will come back to questions. So you can keep sending them to the chat. These are some special offers that you can get for MedicMind. So feel free to scan the QR code. Feel free to take a screenshot of this page as well. And you do get 50% off a 2-hour trial if you put this code in because you came to this webinar. Okay, I'm just going to move on to where we talk about your options for studying abroad. Yes, I can do. I'll just do that. Okay. So obviously, if you don't get into medicine, another option is doing medicine abroad, or dentistry. So you've got to go through a couple of steps, and they require a lot of research. Number one is finding the right university for you. And then you have to look at their application process. You have to look at the way they teach medicine. And you have to look at kind of things like, you know, even what language are they teaching it in? Are there any extra requirements that they have? What are your qualifications a fit for their requirements? Because sometimes these things are different. And then also at the end of this degree, what qualification are you getting? Is it equivalent to studying medicine in the UK? Is it a qualification that will be considered all around the world? And then obviously you can start your studies abroad, graduate from the medical or the dental school, register with the GMC or the GDC, and then hopefully start practicing. So if you give me a second. We have got someone from MedLink, I'm going to stop there, to talk about this with you, and how they can offer more support with this. So if you give me a moment. Brilliant. Thank you. I'm just going to pass you on to Dana from MedLink, and she will talk to you about this.
Thank you, Iman. What a webinar. It's so nice to be here with you all, guys. And as Iman said, one of the popular options is, which a lot of UK students are following now, is Europe. A lot of students now apply in the UK and they apply to Europe as a plan B. I'm not sure if you can hear me, guys. Can you hear me, Iman?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, lovely. So one of the most popular options is going to Europe. And basically, as Iman said, it requires a lot of research. You gotta see which universities offer medicine or dentistry in English, how long is the course. And this is what we do here. We as MedLink, we're a group of doctors. It was established by a group of doctors and dentists and medical students and dentistry students. So doctors who studied medicine and dentists have done this research for you to make sure that we carefully handpick the top universities that offer medicine and dentistry in English to make sure you study, get the best quality of education, get a degree that is fully taught in English, and at the same time, a degree that is recognized, qualifies you to come back to the UK after graduation. Now, if we move to the second slide, we can see that a few benefits that we got from students. So the best part is I'm an advisor and I speak to a lot of students and I get to learn more from them about the benefits that they see after they go there. And the best part is getting students' feedback. And one of the best things about Europe is the university that you study in will not just be qualified or recognized in the UK, it will be recognized worldwide. So if you wish to go study, work in the Middle East or in Australia or in USA after graduation, it's completely possible. In addition to having the courses fully taught in English language. So the courses are fully taught in English, you don't struggle with language barriers. And at the same time, you will get a degree that qualifies you to get a less competition for entry, that when you apply there, you're not required to have A stars or A's, because a common question we get from students is, what do I require as grades? If I don't have A's, can I still apply in Europe? Well, some universities, you can still apply if you have a C. So whatever you have, you can book a call with us and one of our advisors or me will be guiding you and telling you which universities you qualify for. Plus the flexible admission requirements. A lot of universities require an entrance exam to cover the basic knowledge of biology and chemistry that you have. Some universities require an interview. So it's very flexible. And for the exam, we will be helping you prepare for it. As MedLink students, we've been working with these universities for years, so we know what topics they focus on, what material would give you advantage to help you not just pass this exam, but ace it, pass it with flying colors, so you can join the year of entry without losing years, without taking any gap years. And also a really nice advantage in Europe is the international environment, the diversity you get to experience. You will meet students from every corner of the world, from countries, or you will meet people that you've never thought you'll meet before. And it's very nice to be around this diverse environment, meeting people from many different backgrounds. Especially you as a doctor, you're going to be meeting patients from different backgrounds and different cultures. So it's important to know how to deal with them, to understand different cultures around. And moving on from here, I'll explain to you how it works with us as MedLink, so how we help you. Once you apply with us, you will get a free consultation, one-to-one call with an expert advisor, expert student advisor who has been doing this for years, spoke to more than thousands of students, to more than 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 students. So they know requirements, they know what qualifications you have and what universities you might be qualified for. Also, at the same time, we don't just focus on helping you find the right university. We want to help you find the right environment, because you're going to live there for 6 years and you're going to a new country. So it's very important to help you find an environment where you're going to have a good experience, enjoy yourself while you study. So you can focus on your studies and shine while you're studying and get the best grades possible. In addition to advise you, this free consultation is to advise you about living expenses in Europe, what are you expected there, how we will help you, how we will assess your documents. So we will tell you which universities you qualify for. In addition to application management, as you can see on the screen, for the application management, we will have a professional admission department in the country that you decide to study in. So after the free consultation, we speak together a few times to decide which university is most suitable for you. Then we have, after you decide the university, we have a special admission team who specialize in this country or uni that will be helping you gather the required documents, create a very strong competitive file, submit it to the university to get you accepted, and of course preparing you for the interview or the entrance exam, depending on the university, whether it requires an entrance exam or not. And after you're accepted, here comes the best part of Medlink. What students love about us is the support we offer on ground. I'm sure most of you here are worried and saying, how am I moving to a different country? I don't speak the language. I don't know anyone there. Well, don't worry. We are there to support you. We have a group of medical students, and they call us Medlink's family on campus. We're like a community, all of us in the same shoes. So students who've been in your position before, they are the ones who will meet you at the airport, pick you up, take you to buy a SIM card, show you around the university a little bit, introduce you to our team. We also help you find accommodation. Some universities have hostels, and some universities who don't have hostels, you will rent a private apartment, like a small studio, a small apartment. We help you find an apartment with a very good price. We help you apply for the residency permit while you're there. So ongoing support while you're in Europe for 6 years, we will be with you every step of the way to support you and make sure you finish this journey without any complications, without any bumps. And in case you feel like there's something you don't know or you're overwhelmed for a specific document, we will be over there to guide you and help you like a second family for you. This is the best part about Medlink. They call us Medlink's family because we're very supportive on ground, because you can be one of these students 2, 3, 4 years from now. And I'm sure you really want to help newcomers too. Moving on from here, if we can move to the second slide where we can talk a little bit about Medlink. So Medlink Students is the leading agency in Europe, not just in the UK. And we've recently become the biggest agency for student recruitment. We've spoken to over than 10,000 students and helped them get registered. We have around 100 universities in Europe for medicine and dentistry. And also we have veterinary medicine. We have some pharmacy courses too that are fully taught in English. So we've spoken to so many students from all around the world. We've been helping students for years. We are the most experienced in this field, and we have the best universities, top universities that we guide you with. We don't look for easy admission. We look for top universities where we are confident that we can create a strong file for you. And if you put the effort in with us in the entrance exam material, we guarantee your admission. So this agency was inspired by doctors. This is what makes us different. Students who wanted to study medicine, they went abroad and they decided they want to help other students because they are from the field and they've been through this. Now they've become successful doctors and they've created a huge Medlink's family in every country in Europe that we work with. We have a team. And we do have a webinar where we will have students from universities that we are taking students to. They will be coming to speak about their experience. So on the next page, you can find 2 QR codes. You can book a call with us, book a free consultation using the first QR code. And with the second one, you can register also for the webinar if you'd love to know more about your options and the universities and hear it from students. I know I've been speaking, but I'm sure you would like to hear it from students' experience, a student who's already there. So if you join our webinar, you'll be able to hear students from many different universities talking about their experience. I see some questions in the chat box. I'm sure you guys, I see a lot of questions. It's a bit difficult due to the time, but if you book a free consultation with us, we'll be able to have a one-to-one free call. Thanks, Iman. I know I'm over time, but I see a lot of questions coming in. So just wanted to let the guys know that they can book a free consultation with us.
Yeah, no worries. If you want to answer a couple, you can do. It's up to you.
All right, sure.
You'd like
Do you
to?
want Yeah, I'm sure. Is it possible to apply to European universities with C and A levels? Whatever your grades are, even if you have a D, just let us know. Get on a call with us. Let us see your documents. Let us see your A levels, your GCSEs, and we'll make an assessment for you. And I'm sure we will manage to find a university for you. And by the way, a question also here about having bachelors. If you have a bachelor's degree, there's also the graduate entry route in Europe. You can also join this and you can discuss it more with your advisor. They can tell you, or me, I'm one of the advisors and I have other advisors. So we'll have a discussion with you and we'll guide you which universities are best for your case in case you have a bachelor's. So you can do a shorter program. When is the entrance exam for European universities, as you may have to wait a whole year for more? Okay, that's a great question, by the way, from Uma. If you're looking to study abroad, majority of students usually apply 1 year ahead. However, now some universities have closed admissions, some universities are still open, but their deadlines are very, very soon. So if you start inquiring now about it, start looking into options with us, we might be able to help you join now. Each university has a different deadline depending on countries, because we're talking about 100 universities in many different countries. They have different requirements and different dates. We will guide you and we will tell you when your exam would be. There's also another intake in Europe, which is February intake. So if you like a university and you've missed it in October, we can help you join in February if they do have a February intake. But it's recommended that you apply 1 year ahead. So the university of your choice, you have a seat booked there, you have a file open. So you can apply because it's different. In Europe, it's an independent application. It's not one of your options in the UK, one of the 4 options. It's a completely different one. So you can apply to the UK alone and to Europe as a plan B, which is most students do. I took a gap year. Would they reject me? That's a great question too. You can take a gap year, you can apply after a gap year. There's no problem with that. And you can apply with predicted grades. Some universities you can apply with predicted, some with achieved, but even with predicted, you can apply. And with a gap year, you can still apply in Europe too. I'm struggling to answer all these questions, but I do recommend, I don't want to go over time with you, Iman, but I do recommend you guys just book a free consultation. You'll get a 30 or a 40-minute free call to answer every single question and make a free assessment for you. Can't wait to have you speak to us.
Yes, thank you so much. That sounds really, really helpful. Definitely sounded like something I would have liked to hear about when I was an A-level student as well, applying. So thank you for talking to us about that.
You're welcome. And it was lovely being here with you too.
Thanks. Yeah, so I'm just going to summarize because like Dana said as well, we're running out of time. So we've kind of come to the end and I don't want to overrun too much, but I know everyone has a lot of questions. Just going to summarize with, first of all, thank you so much for attending. I hope it was really helpful. I want to leave you with a couple of tips on clearing. Just starting with the fact that please stay calm. No matter what you think has happened and how bad you think it does get better, and there is always a solution and you can find it if you stay calm. Make sure before you call anyone tomorrow, if you have to, that you've done your research. Like we said before, have everything ready, have your UCAS number on you, have your grades with you, have the courses that you're interested with you, any questions you'd like to ask, and please take the time to get to know the courses that you are thinking of applying for, because it's a big decision and you don't want to jump for anything that you're not too interested in. And finally, there is lots of support out there. So if you didn't get into medicine or dentistry and you do want to reapply, I would highly recommend, like I've said before, MedicMind offers one-to-one tutoring, and this is done by students who were in your place previously. I am myself one of the tutors. I can vouch for the commitment that we have towards helping you guys make these applications, getting everything right, getting those interview skills, that UCAT exam. So please do think carefully about your next steps on clearing. I will say 1 minute if anybody wants to ask any questions, or actually, I think we have some time. So if you've got any questions, please do ask them now. I think Dana is also still in the meeting. So if you've got anything for either of us, please do put it in the chat, or you can unmute. Okay. I will just run through the process of clearing once more to summarize that and make that clearer, because there's a couple of questions. So clearing happens for the people who missed their offers or did change their mind about where they want to go, or did not get any offers when they first applied. So essentially, clearing, you've got no university to attend and no course to study. What you can do is you can call universities, any uni that you're interested in, any university that you like, you can call them and you can find out if they have a course open that you're interested in. So essentially you say to them, I'm interested in adult nursing. I keep using as an example for continuity. Do you have this open? They might say, yes, it's open in clearing. We have spaces. Great news. They will ask you what grades you received. You tell them exactly what you've got, any AS levels, A levels, BTEC, any EPQs. They will then tally up your UCAS tariff points and match them to that course requirements. If you meet the course requirements, if you have the correct number of points, if you have the correct subject, whatever the requirements are, if you meet those requirements, they will then say, yes, okay, go ahead. We recommend that you apply to adult nursing at this university. We cannot guarantee you an offer, because by the time you apply, the course might close, or the admissions might decide that they want to reject your application. But the university basically gives you the green light to make that application to their uni. You then go on to UCAS. Your UCAS track, where you see all your offers, will show you a new clearing option if that happens. You can then click on that clearing option, put in the course code for the course that you've just phoned about, put in the university that you've just phoned about, and write a quick application to apply for that space. You can only make one of those at a time. So that's done. Once you've made that application, you then wait for the university to get back to you, as you did in the original cycle of applications. The university will either give you a conditional offer or an unconditional offer, or they will reject your application. Depending on what happens, you can accept the offer. Normally you have 5 days to accept that offer. You can either accept that offer or you can decline the offer and make another application. And obviously, if you're rejected, you are then again open to making another application. If you get accepted, you cannot make any more applications. You either have to decline that and make a new one, or accept that and go to that uni. I hope that that clarifies that. Any other questions on the process or clearing in general?
While you're checking that, Iman, I can see a few questions for me. Shall I, do you mind if I answer them, or do you have questions?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go.
A very common question, which I think we didn't go over. People are asking about cost of studying in Europe. Best part about Europe is the affordability, and there's universities ranging from £5,000 up to £20,000 a year. So whatever your budget is, you don't have to put any financial burden or go to a university where you can't afford and worry about finances. We can help you find a university that has top quality of education, at the same time, very reasonable tuition fees. I just wanted to go over this question, and I had something else here. Do we charge for the fee? Yes, we have a fee. It's a reasonable fee because there are expenses involved in the application in Europe, and it depends on your application. So once you book with us the consultation, based on the application and the university you decide on, we will guide you how much the fees are. But it's a very reasonable fee, so don't worry. And someone else was asking about experience, if it's required in Europe. In Europe, experience is not a requirement for universities. They usually focus on A levels, your grades, your performance in the entrance exam, and the file that we create together itself. I think those are the main common questions. Again, we're having more questions about the cost. We'll guide you more about that. If you go to our website, www.medlinkstudents.com, you can find all the countries we work with the prices, and we'll have a consultation together and we'll see which universities you qualify for.
Thank you so much for picking those up as well. Again, I've got kind of the same questions, so I'm just going to answer them together. The main one is, what should you have on you when you call? Make sure you've got all of your exam results and exam boards. So someone said, should I have my GCSE exam boards? Yes, everything. The more detail, the better. Exam boards for your GCSE, main ones, maths, English, language, and your sciences, because they will want to know the grades for that. Your A-levels results or your BTEC results, whatever you've received tomorrow, have those on you, have the exam boards, especially with BTEC, they can be very different, complicated qualifications. Make sure you've got the correct exam board, the correct name. Have your results on you. Other than that, have your UCAS personal ID number. That's the 10-digit number you get when you log in on UCAS Track. Really helpful if you've got that. And mainly those are the things you need besides the research that you've done and that you are inquiring about. Somebody asked about grade boundaries. If you've almost got the A-level grade but don't quite have it, can you tell the university that? You can do, but the likelihood is that they will ask you to repeat. So they will want to see the grade, and they will not kind of allow you to have the grade below the one that's needed, even if you are a couple of marks off. Couple more questions. I'll go backwards. Can you only apply to one university through clearing? Yes. But after you've heard back from them, you can then make another application to any other university or course. What research should you have prepared? Essentially, just what do you want to apply to? What are you interested in? What questions have you got, if any? Are we at a disadvantage when it comes to applying for accommodation or finance if you go through clearing? The only disadvantage you're at with regards to accommodation is that it is a little bit late. So you might struggle to find accommodation that you want. However, a lot of universities are prepared for this, and they have accommodation teams that are ready to support you. So they will be able to find you accommodation and help you find accommodation. So not necessarily. With finance, you're not at a disadvantage. You just have to make sure that you've updated student finance with your new course. Again, going back up, I believe that's fine. You can reject a clearing offer. You have 5 days to respond to your offer once the university has offered you anything in clearing. So let's say you put through a clearing application and they give you a conditional firm or an unconditional firm. You then have 5 days. You can reject it, you can accept it. It's completely up to you. If you reject it, you fall back into clearing, and you are free to make a different clearing application. Where can you find your clearing number? You won't have a clearing number unless you've actually gone online and registered to any clearing services at any university. What you can find is your UCAS personal ID number. When you log into UCAS Track, that will be the first thing sort of up on the header. And that's a very good thing to note down and have on you. Couple more minutes if anybody's got any questions. We understood that clearing was only unconditional. Not necessarily, because if you apply through clearing to a healthcare course, again, let's say nursing, the offer won't be unconditional because they will need you to do a DBS check and an occupational health check. So yes, it's unconditional with regards to your grades, but it might be conditional with regards to other checks that they want to do. Also, it might be conditional if it's something like an art course and they want you to submit a portfolio. So there can be additional conditions on an offer other than the grades. I just want to quickly go back to the subjects available in clearing, and reiterate, which I should have done actually, that these are not all of them. There are loads of courses open in clearing, and this is a very small list of the ones that we think you might find relevant. Please do go online. On UCAS as well, you can see what courses are available and take a look at all of them. This is just a small list of what is open at the time that this was written today. So it is definitely not just this, you can find more courses. Anything else? Do you register for clearing on UCAS or through the uni website? UCAS will show you clearing as is if you end up in clearing, but you can register through the university website for something called pre-registration for clearing, which basically just gives you access to, you can just see the courses that they have available. I believe there is a recording of the webinar and it can be found on YouTube. There is an additional webinar tomorrow. I know a lot of people had questions about reapplication. So tomorrow from 6 to 7 p.m, there's an additional webinar that will cover reapplication and should answer all of your questions on that. So please do attend that. You can access the courses that are in clearing today as well if you look on the university websites. However, tomorrow you'll get a more accurate picture because they can literally close overnight as well. So your best bet is to phone that university and ask them if right now is it open, and they will give you that answer. Okay, any last questions, and then we'll finish there. Brilliant. I'll stop there. And once again, thank you so much for attending. I really hope it was helpful. Please remember to stay calm, do your research, and just don't rush into anything. Thank you.